Hello?
Hi, is this Mr. Jenkins?
Yeah, this is Carl. Nuts. Missed you.
Well, my name is Nancy Drew. I heard that you had an accident at Icicle Creek Lodge and wondered if you could tell me a little more about it.
Not much to tell. Take that, Captain Keen. I went there to do a little ice fishing, and I slipped going down some stairs and fractured my tibia in 2 places. Can't work, can't go out. All I can do is sit around and play this stupid video game. Oh, no, you don't.
I understand the stairs were a little icy.
They were covered with ice. I was lucky I didn't fracture my skull. Yes. Hey, look, I'm about 4 laser strikes away from ruling the Gargoulian Galaxy, so I gotta go, okay? You got any more questions? Check with the people at the lodge. Gotcha!
Hello? I've got it, sweetheart.
Hi, is this Brenda and Derek Southwaite?
Yes, it is.
Is this a solicitation?
Honey, you're so suspicious.
Only because you can be way too nice for your own good, darling.
I'm not selling anything. I just want to ask you about your recent stay at Icicle Creek Lodge.
You mean Gasicle Leak Lodge?
Oh, very clever, sweetie. Gas was leaking from so many places while we were there, it's a wonder the place didn't blow sky high.
I heard something about your almost being overcome by fumes in the sauna.
Well, we had just gone ice skating, so we decided to warm up in the sauna. So we were sitting in there, and everything was fine, until both of us started feeling a little woozy.
We started feeling a lot woozy.
And the next thing we knew, that Russian skier came in.
Actually, I think he was Slovakian.
The point is, he told us he smelled gas and thought we should get out, so we did.
Barely. By that point, the fumes were making us both ill, if you know what I mean.
That poor skier. By the time he helped us get out of there, he was almost as green as we were.
Awful experience.
Horrible. And it was our honeymoon.
At least the owner had the decency to give us a full refund.
Oops, the shuttle's here, sweetheart. We're off to Aspen. Kind of a second first honeymoon.
Long story short, if you're thinking about going to Icicle Creek Lodge, don't.
Well, I appreciate the advice. Have fun.
Oh, we will. Bye.
Bye.
This is Lupe. Leave a message and perhaps we'll talk later.
Still not there.
Hello?
Hi, Ned. It's Nancy.
Hey, Nance. I couldn't tell it was you because you're not calling from your cell phone.
No coverage out here. I'm in the middle of the Canadian Rockies, remember?
Oh, I haven't forgotten. Everything okay?
Well, as a matter of fact, just as I got here, the bunkhouse blew up.
Yikes. So there was another act of sabotage?
Looks that way. The sheriff found traces of a plastic explosive called C4 on some of the debris.
So if whoever blew up the bunkhouse is the same person who's been causing the accidents, you're looking for someone who knows something about explosives.
Looks that way, yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good lead. What else have you got?
A lone wolf has been hanging out around the lodge lately.
A wolf? That's kind of cool.
No, what's cool is that it dug me out of an avalanche and saved my life.
You're kidding me. Why would a wolf do that?
I don't know. Yet.
So, you've got a wolf hanging around that acts like Lassie. What else?
Bad news. Chantal is insisting that if I need help, I get it from this police consultant she hired. A guy named Tino Balducci.
Tino?
Balducci? Not that cop
That's the one.
How does Chantal know him?
Someone introduced them and he charmed her into hiring him, and now I have to get all my hints from him.
Well, I'm sure he'll be very helpful. Not as helpful as, say, I would have been, of course, but very helpful.
Yanni Volkstaya, the cross-country skier? Someone threw a bomb at him while he was out on the slopes training.
A bomb? You mean like a grenade or something?
I guess. I heard the explosion myself.
Why would someone do that?
From what I've read, Yanni is a pretty ruthless competitor. He's probably made a lot of enemies. In fact, he's convinced that his competitors are the ones who blew up the bunkhouse. He thinks they were trying to intimidate him.
And what do you think?
I think he's just being paranoid. Someone may be using explosives around here, but I really don't think they're doing it just to get rid of Yanni Volkstaya.
Then why are they using them?
That I intend to find out.
Good idea.
Are you familiar with a book by Jack London called The Call of the Wild?
Sure, it's about a dog who winds up leading a pack of wolves. It's a classic. Why do you ask?
Because I found a copy of it in Lou's room.
Interesting. Maybe he's got something to do with the wolf that's been lurking around outside the lodge.
I kinda doubt it. I mean, he does stick up for the wolf, and he could be up to something outside besides snowshoeing. But if he is, I doubt it involves the wolf. I can't see Lou dealing with animals. He's just too laid back.
So the fact that he's reading that book is just a coincidence.
I think so.
As I recall, it was a pretty good book.
The guy who built Icicle Creek Lodge also built this weird concrete pyramid thing nearby that everyone calls Trapper Dan's Needle.
What's it for?
No one knows, but there was a piece of black nylon-type fabric sticking out of it. Like there's a door in it and someone had snagged their clothes on it on their way in.
So you think there's a door, but you can't see one?
Right.
Well, just keep poking around. If something's got a front door, it usually has a back door, too.
Someone dressed in a black snowmobiling suit decked me with an ice ball. And when I came to, the lake had been blown to pieces and I was stranded on an ice floe.
Are you okay?
I am now. But remember that piece of black fabric I saw sticking out of Trapper Dan's needle?
You think it came from the clothes the guy who threw the ice ball was wearing?
It's a definite possibility. And if that person also blew up the lake, he or she could be the same person who blew up the bunkhouse.
Which means if you come across someone who owns a black snowmobiling suit that's missing a piece of fabric, you probably found your culprit.
Ollie's on the avalanche patrol, which means he knows how to handle explosives.
Could he be the mad bomber?
He's got the temperament for it, I can guarantee you that. What I'm not sure about is why he'd be the mad bomber. Although he did mention that he wanted to get back into ranching for himself.
What's stopping him?
No property and no cash. Which reminds me, Chantal hasn't gotten around to giving him the raise she promised him. He seemed a tad bitter about that.
Maybe he figures if he wreaks enough havoc around there, Chantal will shut down the lodge and sell it to him for next to nothing. Not only will he get property, he'll get revenge.
You really think she'd sell the lodge to Ollie?
Of course not, but if Ollie thinks that, he could easily be your guy.
Gotta go. I'll call you again.
Good luck up there. And be
careful. Goodbye, Ned. I should get rid of this laundry bag before I forget.
How can I help you?
Ever see Lou Talbot when you're out there training?
The college student? Just yesterday I had to slow down to avoid colliding with him. It ruined my whole session.
I really need to get somewhere in the backcountry and was thinking you could maybe give me a cross-country ski lesson or two?
Out of the question. I don't have the time, the equipment, or, frankly, the desire. I am sorry.
You're busy, so I'll let you go.
It has been a pleasure.
Something tells me I shouldn't be making this much noise. Not when I'm walking in a place called Avalanche Ridge. If I don't get warm soon, I may not make it. I feel warmer already. Miss Comillo, hi, it's Nancy Drew from Icicle Creek Lodge.
Yes, hello. Is the wolf all right?
Well, Ollie hasn't succeeded in shooting or trapping it yet, if that's what you mean. But I'm not going to tell you any more until you tell me who you really are.
All right. I'm a member of Run and Grow Free. As you may or may not know, that's an organization dedicated to the protection of wild animals. I went to the lodge to make sure nothing happened to that wolf. See, we're trying desperately to arrange to have it captured and transported to a sanctuary. But so far, all the ones we've contacted are full. And unless and until we find a place for it, all we can do is try to protect it. Now tell me more about the contact you've had with the wolf.
After I was buried by an avalanche, it dug a hole in the snow so I could escape.
It may have sensed you were in trouble, or its behavior may have been totally random. But either way, the fact that the wolf didn't simply run away from you is very bad news.
It is?
Wolves and humans simply do not mix. While wolves may appear to be similar to dogs, behaviors that have been bred out of dogs after thousands of years of domestication are still instinctive to wolves. Training a wolf to behave like a dog may mask those instincts, but it cannot eradicate them. For that reason, no matter how sociable the wolf may appear, instinct can at any moment rear its ugly head with devastating results for any humans involved and for the wolf. Especially for the wolf, who will have simply been doing what comes naturally.
So the fact that this wolf doesn't seem to be that afraid of people could lead people to think they don't have to be afraid of it.
Precisely. It could make them forget that all wolves are, first and foremost, wild. And while we're on the subject, do not ever give in to the temptation to feed the wolf. For one thing, a wolf's jaws are twice as powerful as a German shepherd's, and should your hand happen to get in its way when it tries to feed?
I get the picture.
For another thing, making the wolf dependent upon you for food would seal its doom. It sounds strange, Nancy, but the very best thing you can do for that wolf is nothing.
Are you the one who wrecked all the gear that was in the fishing shack?
Yes, that was me. I was afraid that Bill Kessler fellow would encounter the wolf on one of his trips out to the shack, and that it would end badly for the wolf. So I did a number on his equipment. I've done worse while working on behalf of Run and Grow Free. Believe me.
So, are you kind of an expert on wolves?
Oh, good heavens, no. Although I probably know more about them than most people do, which unfortunately isn't saying much.
Things like what?
Well, I know that a wolf that lives by itself, like the one up there at the lodge, a lone wolf, if you will, a wolf like that is called a disperser. And I know that 95% of the wolf's natural habitat down here in the lower 48 states has disappeared. And I know some people, a lot of people, couldn't care less. But it seems to me that wolves have just as much right to go about their business in this country as we humans do. After all, they were here first.
When you were here at the lodge, how come you had a magazine that featured Yanni Volkstaya in your room?
You're very observant. I read the article thinking he might make a good spokesperson for Run and Grow Free. But then I actually talked to him. At which point I realized that not only is he a raving egomaniac, but he's appallingly superstitious when it comes to wolves. I put an abrupt end to that conversation. I was afraid he might try to tell me that wolves had eaten his grandmother or something.
You know, actually, never mind. Why can't the group you belong to just capture the wolf, take it out to the middle of nowhere, and let it go?
Because unfortunately, there's really no such place as nowhere anymore. We humans are, or can be, everywhere. Plus, wolves can travel great distances. Contact with humans would be inevitable. And since this wolf has obviously lost its fear of humans, it would be an easy target for anyone prone to shoot first and ask questions later. No, a sanctuary is the only place where it would be truly safe.
Aren't there any government agencies that can take care of the wolf?
For the most part, and especially up there, wolves are considered to be pests. If a government agency got involved, it would take care of the wolf all right, permanently.
What's a sanctuary?
It's a facility where wolves can live out their lives in as natural a setting as possible in the company of other wolves.
You mean like a zoo?
No, sanctuaries are usually not open to the general public, and while educating visitors about wolves is certainly one of their goals, their primary concern is preserving the animals they take in. Unfortunately, the more humans encroach on wolves' natural habitat, the more crowded the sanctuaries become.
It gets so cold here at night. Will the wolf be okay?
Not only are wolves built to withstand cold temperatures, but they know instinctively what to do to survive in extreme conditions. If they didn't, they would have disappeared from the earth eons ago.
Why didn't you just come out and tell the people at Icicle Creek Lodge that you were there to protect the wolf?
Because I assumed, and quite correctly as it turns out, that very few people there would be sympathetic to my cause. Had I not been undercover, they may have tried to foil my efforts. Instead, I was able to foil theirs. For a while, at least.
Did you ever hear any explosions while you were staying at Icicle Creek Lodge?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I heard several.
Do you have any idea what caused them?
My first thought was that Ollie had completely lost it and was going after the wolf with explosives. But when I realized that even he wasn't that stupid, I assumed it was someone clearing an avalanche or a downed tree or something. While we're on the subject of explosions, did anyone ever figure out what made the bunkhouse blow up like that?
The sheriff says it was plastic explosives.
Wow, that's serious. No offense, but it sounds to me like instead of hiring a new maid, the owner of the lodge should have hired herself a detective.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go.
Thanks for calling. Oh, and from now on, call me Lupe. I think you've earned that right.
Hello?
Hi, it's Nancy Drew.
I'm glad you called. Ollie tells me Guadalupe Comillo checked out.
Actually, it was more like Ollie threw her out.
Well, good riddance, right? I mean, he said she was an environmental nut job. In fact, he said he wouldn't be surprised if she's the one who caused those accidents and blew up the bunkhouse.
I don't think so.
You don't? I was hoping I could tell my lawyers that the case is closed and come home.
I still have to come up with proof.
Oh, that. Well, the lodge is probably better off without her in any case. Although she did pay for her stay in advance, and in cash. Cash is good. Oh well. Anything else to report?
Did you know that Ollie is building a trap to catch the wolf that's been hanging around?
No, but he told me he'd been having trouble shooting it, so good for him. Whatever it takes to get rid of it.
But why does he need to get rid of it? It's not hurting anything.
It's freaking out my guests, which means it's hurting my bottom line, especially on top of everything else that's been happening.
But why not, say, call a wolf sanctuary and have them come and take the wolf away? That would certainly be more humane.
Look, Ollie's had a lot of experience with varmints or whatever he calls them, so I have to assume that he knows best. In fact, I think he used to hunt wolves for food. Or was that bears? Ugh, lions, tigers, bears, wolves, they're all a huge insurance risk for someone in my business. So I don't care how Ollie does it. I just want that wolf gone. ASAP.
You'll hear from me again later.
Answers, Nancy. I need answers.